Welcome once again to the Damon Floyd Coaches Show here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. As we talk about last week's game with the Red Bank Lions and the upcoming game with Oak Ridge, our show is brought to you each week by Ownbey Appliance out there on Dirt Key Road. So see those folks for all of your appliance needs, whether it be service, repair, parts, or you need new appliances. Coach Floyd, a tough win last Friday night over a very good Red Bank team. I look at the stats I had here, 23 first downs to 9, 397 yards offense. They had 130. You think we dominated. It was a very uncomfortable lead and a tough win against a very good and well-coached team last week.
Yeah, they're, going in, we said they're a tough physical team and the most athletic team we had seen until that point. So, we knew it was not going to be an easy game by any means. And, obviously we moved the ball really well. We actually never punted Friday.
Right, again, second game in a row.
We just had way too many turnovers. We fumbled the ball twice. We threw 2 interceptions. So, once again, I thought defense played really well. Really, they had one explosive play on us. And other than that, I think for the most part, we played really well. So, offensively, we just got to continue to execute. We had good drives, and then we'd get a penalty, and then we'd pick up the first down, and then get a penalty. So, once again, penalties are an issue. So it's about execution, and we got to find a way to fix that.
Every week you talk about penalties and turnovers. If we have 9 penalties and turnovers this week, chances are we ain't going to win.
No, it'll be a blowout if we have 4 turnovers and 9 penalties again. But we did not play our best, and then we found a way to win. So that's the positive. That's
a very positive thing, and I thought it was a good experience to have a tough team like that to come here and play us on our field. We knew that Coach Gatewood, he's been around forever, and he knew how to coach and so forth. We had Kenyon had 81 yards in the first half. Didn't play second half. We know anything about him yet? His playing ability?
I'd be shocked if he plays, to be honest. He's tweaked his ankle, and playing running back, it's one position you can't have a tweaked ankle. So it's one of those issues. Could he play? Probably, but he's not going to be 100%. And as soon as he gets tackled, it's going to make it, then how long is he out after that? So really, we just need him back healthy. But we still don't know for sure. If he's able to practice, 2 days this week, then we'll probably let him go. But it'll be probably not a game time decision, but a decision Wednesday we make. But if he doesn't play, other guys will have to step up and pick up the slack, which he didn't play, second half last week, and we had other guys that went in and do the job. So there's no doubt Kenyon's the guy we want to get the ball to first on our offense. So we hope he can play, but if he doesn't, then somebody else has got to step up.
I was really impressed with speed. It was Triple P, we call him, Peyton Parker Price, and a young guy, junior, but man, he had 77 yards in playing the second half.
Yeah.
He's got a burst of speed just like a retro engine.
Well, he's fast. Like we've known it. He was actually out for, I think, 6 weeks. But, going into the season, then he kind of he came back, I guess, first or second week where he was fully healthy. So, we feel confident in him, and Spencer McCooch can go back and play running back. Grady Lewis went back and played running back. Javon DeGrasse should be back this week. He was out the last 2 weeks with an injury. So, it's part of the game where you get nicked up at this time of year, and a lot of people, all the teams deal with it. So, if Triple P gets the ball, we feel good about it, and he can make some things happen.
Well, he did good. And it's good to see all those different running backs in there. Wiley Susquich, another one, carrying the ball too in there.
Had a huge first down, broke 2 tackles to keep the chains alive. So, and Wiley will probably get a little bit this week. So it'll be a little bit by committee.
It's hard to think, but we're halfway through the season. We're going in the second half of the season, starting Friday night. With the Oak Ridge game there. Defensively, I looked at some stats and things. Andrew Carroll, the guy, he just brings it every week. He was. Well, the whole defense. We named Jeremiah Brownlow for that hit. He separated that guy on the pass reception right in front of you, and you can see that coming. The pass sort of flowed out there, and you can see this blur coming. And man, he was at full speed. He got a good lick on him. He's just a sophomore. So he's got a good future ahead of him as well.
Yeah, he's playing well. Our game of the player of the game defensively went to Anthony Perez, who probably doesn't get enough credit. Him and Andrew Carroll don't get enough credit because they really do a good job. Every week, but Wiley makes a lot of tackles, so he gets a lot of publicity, which he should. And then, of course, you got Zane and AJ up front who make a lot of tackles. So I'm really proud of our whole defense, but that front 6 has played really well. But they feed off each other, like we talked about last week. To be good defensively, you can't have one guy doing their job. We got guys out there that are doing their job, And if your chance to make a play, up to this point, for the most part, we've made our plays. We've missed a couple of tackles this year, but when you look at film, there's not like we had 2 missed tackles last week. That's huge. You're going to miss some tackles. That's part of it. We play good people, but as a whole, the defense is doing a really good job.
Yeah, they really, really are. And every week you can count on that defense to be solid. Offense, we're growing some. We've got to get better. If I were a teacher and giving a letter grade, I'd say maybe a B, something like that. Certainly not an A. We got so much room for improvement. A lot of areas there. We've got to get rid of those penalties somehow, some way, and stop with the turnovers. Or like we've said, and you say every week, that's a great evening factor there to have those, for the other team. Every takeaway that we lose is an opportunity for them to score and takes away an opportunity for us to score. But I don't know how you get rid of those. It's just, in some cases, it's an effort. It's a penalty caused by an effort, which is okay in my mind. The mental mistakes is what cost you, and I know it frustrates you and the coaching staff if it's a mental mistake. But is there a way we can get rid of the penalties? I mean, do you just keep harping on?
I don't think we'll ever have 0 penalties. I
ain't asking that.
But yeah. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
We don't want to have penalties, but sometimes we see it a little different. And, like I said, it's part of the game. I think the turnovers are what's frustrating because we can hold on to the ball. Like, we should not have the fumbling. Now, the interceptions, some of them on Tucker, some little bits on the route running, some of them, like, those other teams watch film and, they got, number 12 for Red Bank, like, he's a 6'4" outside linebacker that's as athletic as anybody we've seen. Like, he made an unbelievable play to get his hand on the ball, and then it actually tipped to another lineman all the way across the line of scrimmage. Yep. So some things are just going to happen. Yeah. We have good things happen to us. Other teams are going to have good things happen to them. That's part of the game. We play really good players and coaches, so it's frustrating when it happens, and we're going to try to coach it. But if we think we're going to go through a season with no penalties or no turnovers, like that's not reality. So you try to learn from it and you move on.
And you mentioned the talk about the interception. We had a deflected pass by that linebacker, and sometimes the quarterback, it's always his stat, but sometimes the receiver turns in, should have turned out or whatever, or the ball's in his hands, they can't bring it in or whatever. So it's not always quarterback's fault, although he gets the stat there. Let's take a break. We'll come back and talk about the upcoming game Friday night. Homecoming Friday night with the Oak Ridge Wildcats, a team we've not seen since 2010. We'll be back in just 1 minute after this word from Ownbey Appliance. Welcome back to our Coach Show here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, brought to you by Ownbey Appliance. We appreciate your support. Looking at Oak Ridge, is there anything else we need to say? Coach Derek Crane, he's been there, I guess, in his 4th year now. He's in his 3rd year. He's got them rolling. He played at Maryville. He knows a championship caliber, and that mentality. Actually, he played against the Bears twice back in the early 2000s. And what do you see? It's a crazy question. What scares you about Oak Ridge? I see a lot of things that scare me when I look at the stats and talk to people up there myself.
They're the best team we've played so far. They are a very well coached team. Coach Rang's been to a couple different programs and had success at really everywhere he's been. And then you go, put him at Oak Ridge, a tradition that they have. Yeah. So it's going to continue. This is the team I believe they've been kind of waiting for, because a lot of these guys played at freshmen. Like I know, as freshmen, they have 8 seniors starting on offense. I think there's 6 on defense. I think there's 5 guys that have Division I offers that are on this team. So without a doubt, the most talented team we faced. I don't think there's any doubt it's the most well-coached team we've played until this point. So there is no weaknesses, and I mean that. Usually you can line up or you watch film and you find some places you feel like you may be able to attack. Special teams, their kicker kicks in the end zone every time. Unless they don't want to and they feel like they can pin you deep, then they will pooch it, but he kicks it in the end zone. So I think for the most part we've won field position in every game we played this year. I don't know if we can do that this week, just for the simple fact we can't kick it in the end zone. So maybe we get down there and tackle it inside the 20, which would be obviously great. But whenever they kick off, we're going to have to drive 80 yards. And then defensively, they're very, very talented, and the scheme's really good. Like, they don't just run one thing, so they attack you in a lot of different ways. So execution will be vital.
Well, you mentioned they're good. Their quarterback, their tight end, their receiver, running back, those are some of the best they've said right now they've had in years. As they say, these guys come along. I think every one of them are seniors there, and they've done real well. The kicker's in the end zone every kick. He's also their punter, and he's only punted 5 times in 5 games. So obviously their offense is doing their thing. They've had 4 running clocks in 5 games. So I mean, what else can he do there? What do they do defensively? What are you looking at when you see their scheme on defense?
Very athletic, first of all. They have their nose guard is huge. I mean, he's 300-pounder that's I think been offered by like Memphis and schools like that. So he's going to be tough to block. But they base out of a 3-3 stack, which means they're going to line up, but they're bringing pressure from every which way. And then on the back end, most athletic, very, very similar to Red Bank, probably in the secondary, very athletic. So, you know, are we going to be able to beat them deep? If we do, maybe once. It's not going to happen many times. So it's about moving the chains. You know, really, like our offensive goal is to try to get 3 yards every play. So that's really what it's going to boil down to Friday night. And, you know, we may have to go for it on some 4th downs and take some chances. So, they play with great effort. They get after the ball, and you know, they tackle well. Like I said, there's just not many weaknesses on their whole team, and defensively, they're very tough.
I look at programs like theirs, and I compare them to Maryville, who's won 17 different state championships. Alcoa has won more than Maryville, and Oak Ridge not up that level yet, but boy, they're closed in. They've got 7 state titles of their own.
They made a lot of runs. You know, like last year. You know, of course, they weren't in our region last year. Right. They were in 5A, but they made it to the semifinals. And I think it was a really close game against them in Sevier County, who went on to win it. So, yeah, I mean, tradition-rich program. You know, I think they're ranked in the top 5 this week. So, very tough team. But, hey, I mean, this is the games you want to play. Like, you know, so it's a great opportunity. It's a lot of implications for playoffs. So I think our kids will be excited, and it should be a fun game to play in. It
is a huge factor in the upcoming playoffs, which are 5 weeks out there. But the last time we beat them, 1965, I was actually a sophomore in high school. That's a long time ago. We don't play them every year, but our record against them is 3-24. It's the worst record we have against anybody. It's played multiple times, but we beat them 13-7, like I said, back in that year there. And they went on. They were 6A team back in the early 2010s and went up to 5A.
Yeah, I don't think there was 6 classifications then.
Well, they were, anyway, I was looking at TWSAA where I got the information. That may not be correct there. It's homecoming. It's been a long time coming. We need to get this win to help secure a playoff position of some kind down the road there. But it's going to be one of those battles that a lot of people will be here for that game, I think. Should be a great crowd.
Should be a good crowd. You know, I think it'll be a good football game if we come out and execute. And I know they're going to show up and they'll be excited. So, yeah, it should be a good football game.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Tip-off coming up, or kickoff coming up here shortly on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Stay tuned now for our player interview here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Until next time, God bless and go Bears.